Hello and welcome everybody to the Pearl Cruise Show. We are freezing here at -6 in UK and over there in the US, I think it's snowing down there. I have somebody very wonderful over here today on my talk show. If I go on talking about her qualifications, it's going to take a long time, but I'm going to give it a try. So I have Suja Thomas with me here on my screen, who is a AGPCNP, BC. We will come to the full forms of all this in a while. MSN Education, RN, CWCN, COCN, CCCN. She's one of the members in the board of trustees of CGFNS, a clinical lead at Samuel S. Strachan VA Medical Center, and a part of the advisory board of National Association of Indian Nurses in America, the NAINA. Welcome on our show, Ms. Suja Thomas. It's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored and excited to be part of your show. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I look forward for this engaging and productive conversation.
Same here. I was looking forward to it for quite a while now, and here we are together on the screen. Right, let's just get on to it. So many qualifications that I spoke about. I think for the benefit of audience and for me as well, can you just tell us all these qualifications that are attached to you and take us through the journey of Suja Thomas right from she started as a novice nurse to date?
Okay, sounds great. That's a great question. I was born and raised in Kerala, India, fondly known as God's own country. So my initial ambition was to become a college professor, which led me to pursue BA in English literature. So, however, my journey took a different turn when my aunt, she was a military nurse, brought me an advertisement from Deccan Herald about an entrance exam for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing at Father Muller's College of Nursing, Karnataka. Intrigued by that opportunity, I applied and passed the entrance exam and embarked on my journey into nursing. After completing that rigorous 4-year program, I graduated as a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and I worked as an assistant lecturer in Mangalore University. So teaching was very fulfilling, but I had always aspired to pursue PhD. While teaching, I got married, you know how that goes, and my husband was already based in US. So due to Kuwait war, it took 4.5 years for me to get a visa to US after marriage. So when I arrived at the US, I was prepared for the NCLEX RN exam. So I wrote the exam and I passed the exams on my first attempt, officially becoming a registered nurse. And that is the RN credential, is basically. Shortly after that, I was promoted to a supervisory role and in an acute care hospital. And then I also worked there as an education specialist. So at the same time, I also served as a regional faculty at the American Heart Association, AHA. So I was a BLS instructor and ACLS instructor as well. You know, BLS stands for Basic Life Support and ACLS stands for Advanced Cardiac Life Support. So while balancing my work and life, and I pursued my master's in nursing education, you know, we nurses, we never stop learning.
That's true.
And I also served as an adjunct faculty member at Maria College, which taught the nursing students, where I really enjoyed teaching. My interest in administration and management led me to take up another role as an operations manager for a medical, surgical, and hemodialysis unit, which is at St. Peter's Health Partners here in New York. So being a certified nurse midwife back in India, so, you know, when you graduate, you have your CNM under your belt.
Yes.
Later, I transitioned to manage the labor and delivery unit in the same hospital, which actually helped me to give a different perspective on healthcare management. So as my career progressed, you know, I accepted a position in an acute care hospital, another acute care hospital, managing cardiopulmonary and medical surgical units to accommodate the evolving demands of life. You know, when you have children, you know, you should be able to do something that is feasible to your life.
That's
And I was later promoted as a nurse executive role. So I was overseeing various clinical departments in that hospital, including the lab, radiology, pharmacy, respiratory, nursing education, wound care, you name it. So during my time as a nurse executive, the hospital lacked a certified wound ostomy and continence specialist. So, which prompted me to specialize in this demanding yet vital field in nursing. So, I received a Robert Scholar Award and for clinical excellence, which supported me for my advanced training in wound ostomy and continence nurse. That's how I earned my certification as CWCN and COCN and CCCN. So
Okay.
CWCN stand for Certified Wound Care Nurse, and COCN stands for Certified Ostomy Care Nurse, and CCCN stands for Certified Continence Care Nurse. So
Wow.
the tri-speciality. So these are all part of my credentials. So while consulting as a CWCN specialist, I recognize the limitations of nursing practice, you know, without prescriptive authority. I was a consultant. I would tell them what to treat with patients, but I couldn't write an order. So
Mhm.
this realization motivated me to pursue nurse practitioner program. So I transitioned to as a hospital role with the federal government, allowing me to have some flexibility to be able to balance the work, studies, and my life. So I completed my adult gerontology primary care nurse practitioner program, that is AGPCNP. And then I got the board certification, slash PC is that board certification.
Okay.
So I have the New York State license to practice as a nurse practitioner here. So, and then my aspiration to earn a PhD resurfaced. So, at the same time, I was the ninth president of NAINA. And so NAINA is a national association. So, and once during that time, I applied to the University of Buffalo. And I was fortunate, I got the Arthur Schomburg Fellowship. So currently, I am pursuing the PhD full time to fulfill my dream. So my journey reflects commitment to lifelong learning. The adaptability and the passion for advancing nursing field. So by becoming a PhD, a person, I will be able to become a research scientist and contributing to fresh evidence-based knowledge to our nursing profession. So um, that's my story.
Wow, that's quite a lot of things. I must say I'm so impressed. I don't know how you must have balanced all that along with managing, your family and making sure your family is, doing quite well. You are doing quite well. I'm sure there has been a lot of support from everybody that you could count on. But this is amazing, and I think probably as a teacher as well, you must have influenced so many of your students to sort of, take that inspiration and do the best in their life. And like we say, sometimes we feel others, the lay people feel the role of nursing is very limited. But the whole idea of this talk show is to tell people that there is so much more that nurses do than just probably, putting some tablets in patients' mouth or giving injections. The role of nursing has advanced so much beyond that what people can imagine. So thank you so much for taking us through your journey. I'm sure there will be many nurses will be inspired by that and aspiring to be Suja Thomas one day. So, so
Well, it's very true because I have a lot of students all over United States, and most of my students are pursuing their PhD, and they're already completed their PhDs. So it's always great to see that because I am invited as a chief guest in many of the events. I'll be going to Arizona for their induction ceremony this month, and there's another one that's happening in Florida. So when I go visit this different states in the United States, wherever I go there, I have a bunch of people who come to visit me because they were my students back in India because I taught in Mahe for 7 years. So it was exciting to see that. And they joined NAINA because of that, because I always encourage them to professional development is huge. So for growth, if you want to grow as a, person and professionally, it's important that we join a professional organization. So they also join NAINA and support NAINA. At the same time, they benefit out of that by networking and engaging in the conversations and webinars and workshops and conferences and all that. it does make a big difference, so it's exciting to see that.
I'm sure it is. And since you were speaking about NAINA, let's talk a little bit more about it. I was just wondering because equivalent to NAINA, there is something in India called as Association of Nursing Executives of India. Back here in UK, there is British Indian Nursing Association called as BINA. I just wanted to speak about what do you think are the key initiatives that NAINA is advocating for the profession of nursing, particularly for the Indian nurses in the US.
Great question, Paul. So NINA does a lot of initiatives. So I can mention a few. So advocacy for nursing, yeah, as a STEM discipline. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Nursing is not accepted as a STEM profession by Department of Commerce and also the Immigration Department. So NINA is actively supporting the national coalition, advocating for the recognition of nursing as a STEM discipline.
Mhm.
So basically, Department of Commerce and the Department of Homeland Security has not recognized it yet as a STEM profession. So this initiative seeks to elevate the profession's visibility and attract young talents and provide additional career opportunities. So actually, we have done a panel discussion with 44 universities along with the National Coalition for Nursing as a STEM Profession. And, a lot of people has participated in it, and we are getting a lot of attention to that. And in terms of legislative support, U.S. Senator Tim Kaine's office reached out to NINA to support a bill, Welcome Back to Healthcare Workforce Act. So NINA backed up this bill to streamline credentialing and licensing processes for internationally trained nurses, especially Indian nurses, addressing workforce shortages and enhancing career accessibility. And I am also vice chair for the CGFNS Alliance for Ethical International Recruitment, and also the board of trustees for the CGFNS International. So this helped to focus on promoting ethical recruitment practices and global standards for healthcare professionals. So, and also we show commitment to diversity and inclusion. NINA represents ANA, American Nurses Association, for Racial Reckoning and Think Tank, which I was part of the advisory board for the RRT and contributes to the discussions and initiative promoting diversity and inclusion in nursing. And during my term, I was fortunate that I was able to get the board to join ANA as an organizational affiliate, American Nurses Association. And so that helped to maintain ANCC accreditation, American Nurses Credentialing Center accreditation. So NINA enables chapters to provide free contact hours. So NINA has an accreditation program through ANCC. So we have now also academic partnership with the different universities, like we offer advanced educational collaborative opportunities for our members. So during my term, we have two more academic partners that were added to our pool. So this, like Salem University and Vanderbilt University. So now these universities will give tuition discounts for our members. So those are some of the things that helps to grow, get higher education and grow professionally and better careers. And we also got a grant from CDC through ANA for Projects First Line. This helps to enhance infection prevention and control training. And we created a dedicated microsite on our website with resources, which can provide our healthcare workers with infection prevention resources, contact hours, etc. And we also provide scholarship opportunities for Indian and American students. And we awarded multiple scholarships during our conference to support this nursing students to foster the next generation of healthcare professionals. And we support chapter formation and expansion. One of my strategic goals during my term was to expand the chapters in the areas where we do not have a chapter in US.
Mhm.
So we established 3 new chapters: one in Virginia, one in Bay Area of California, and Orlando region, Florida. So with ongoing efforts in bringing up to do more chapters, one in Sacramento and McAllen, Texas. So it's actually a lot of work, and we are aiming for a charter in every U.S. state to create a nationwide support network for Indian nurses. And we do conference and leadership development summits. So NAINA organized two successful conferences. One was in Chicago, Illinois, which was the leadership and clinical excellence. More than 250 people joined that conference from all over the United States, and also people came from internationally, from India and Gulf countries. And so NAINA also has done another conference. Being the president, I was able to host one in the Capital District of New York, in Albany. So we had our ninth biennial conference, and Vice President Kamala Harris and U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy has given the messages for the conference, which is very exciting as well.
Yeah.
And NAINA also supported members to attend ANA Hill Day, Capitol Hill, where they get to meet with the legislators and senators and speak for nursing and nursing profession. So it's like, educating the legislators and things like that, giving them an opportunity. So we supported 25 nurses to go to the Capitol Hill to talk with those people. And so these are some of the opportunities that we provide for our nurses.
That's quite a lot, and I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm sure all the members of NANA are making use of this, and people who are probably not a part of NANA and who are hopefully listening to this episode, I'm sure would love to be part of it, because sometimes I feel they're just not aware. People just come, get busy in their lives, and they do not understand what are the advantages of being part of a professional organization, and they should certainly make use of this. Now, whilst you were talking about, the legislators and creating awareness there and all, I remember seeing that you yourself have probably received a lot of awards. There's one which is from the Indian American Kerala Cultural and Civic Center, where for excellence in nursing leadership. And I think you also received a citation. Can you tell us a little more about that one, which you received from, I think, I can't quite recollect, but from Assemblywoman Michelle, probably?
Michelle Salages, yes,
Yes.
yeah, she has given a citation for the excellence in what we do as a NAINA, and I am so fortunate to be the president of NAINA at the time and leading all these efforts. And we were able to bring NAINA to an international stage at this point. So my goal, one of my strategic goal was to bring the visibility of NAINA internationally. So that has happened. So I guess they recognize that basically by giving me an award in presence of a multitude of legislators and professionals and Kerala Cultural Center people, and it was very honoring. And also Senator Kevin Thomas gave me a proclamation.
This is really great, and I'm so proud to have you on my show, a person who is such an eminent personality and who has got so many beautiful accolades attached to what all you have done. I'm sure your tenure as NANA president was very, very beneficial to NANA as well. Right. Now, moving on to some of the questions that we were thinking about. I was wondering now, there's, we can see there is, of course, since many years, there has been a huge influx of nurses from India to various countries. Okay. And like I mentioned in my earlier shows, with the Heal by India and Heal in India campaign, our government also sort of promises to, provide resources, human resources, to other countries when it particularly comes to healthcare workers. But I'm sure when our nurses go down to other countries, it's quite exciting initially, but I'm sure they come across with a lot of challenges. What do you think are the biggest challenges which is faced by nurses of Indian origin in the US, and how is NANA particularly helping these sort of nurses?
That's a great question, Pearl. So, nurses of Indian origin, as you mentioned, in the US face several challenges that NAINA is actively working on to address. So, like, for example, cultural and language barriers. Many Indian origin nurses may face challenges in adapting to a new culture, including language barriers or differences in communication styles in the workplace. So, NAINA offers a platform for cultural exchange and professional development. So, it helps the nurses navigate cultural differences and provide mentorship communication skills workshops to ensure they feel confident in their roles. And professional recognition and career advancement is another aspect. So, despite their expertise, Indian origin nurses sometimes face challenges in gaining recognition for their qualifications or advancing their careers due to systemic biases and familiarity with their educational backgrounds and things like that. So now NAINA advocates for equal opportunities, offering resources for continuing education and leadership development, networking to help members build professional profiles and access career advancement opportunities. We also promote, the initiatives like the STEM designation, which can help elevate the profession and ensure nurses are recognized for their value. And we are also part of the ANA Racial Reckoning think tank, so we received $10,000 grant. So we also utilize that for educating providing resources for our nurses as well too. And another a challenge is workplace discrimination. So discrimination based on the race, ethnicity, or immigration status, it can be an issue. Uh, that can affect your job satisfaction, your mental health. So basically, we try to encourage self care. We emphasize on diversity, equity, and inclusion, creating safe spaces where members can share their experiences, receive support, and access legal resources. And another thing is leadership representation. While many Indian origin nurses are highly skilled, there is often lack of representation in leadership roles in healthcare. So NAINA focuses on empowering nurses of Indian origin by encouraging leadership development, and through programs like networking and our conferences. It's a great opportunity for people to meet people. We have when we offer this conference, we have experts from nursing field. We have CNOs, chief nursing officers, vice presidents of hospital, nurse practitioners, advanced practice nurses, operations managers, and clinical experts, everybody who attends our sessions. This is an opportunity to mingle with them and connect with them and build their network. And that might help them, because you never know, that person may be your person as a reference, and you might be ending up in a director level position or some other position that you were dreaming about all the time. And immigration and licensing challenges is another thing. For nurses who migrate in the US, navigating through the complexities of licensing, visa issues, and credentialings can be daunting. So NAINA, basically, because I am part of CGFNS advisory board for the last 2 years, and this time I was being promoted as the vice chair of the CGFNS Alliance for International Ethical Recruitment. And we try to, people reach out to us with questions and concerns, so we will be able to utilize our resources to be able to connect with them with the right resources and help them with that process. So by addressing these challenges through advocacy, education, mentorship, and strong sense of community, NAINA helps the Indian origin nurses thrive in the US healthcare system.
That is, and I think that's lovely, because there's so much that when you go in a different. Because when I moved about a year and a half back in this country, okay, I've had about 20 years of experience back in India, but even though being probably I wouldn't say veteran, but a person who's quite experienced in nursing, I still had my own set of challenges over here, because it's different, isn't it? People don't recognize the credentials that you had back in India, and then you start wondering why. Because healthcare system is similar. Probably back in India, with JSI accreditations, things are going at a better pace. We belong to a better healthcare system now. And then you start questioning why they're not recognizing our credentials here. And then you need somebody who has been in this country, or a professional organization who sort of supports you to understand how to go about. It's just like being at the right time, with your credentials, and you need somebody to guide you through that. So I'm so happy to hear that NAINA does such wonderful things for the novice nurses. I wouldn't say novice nurses, but the nurses who are freshers in US, and helps them to, climb up the career ladder as well. How many nurses would be part of NAINA now, around
So
approximately?
NAINA, right now, NAINA has 22 chapters across US. So each chapter has around 200 to 500 members.
Wow.
So, so you can imagine. So we are actually increasing the number of chapters as well too. Originally, when I started, we had about 4,000 members. So our
Mm,
membership is growing every day. as new chapters forms. This year, as I mentioned, we had 3 chapters. So you can imagine a lot of people are joining that chapter. So right now, the chapter, NAINA is the parent organization, and the chapters basically manages things on their own. And NAINA supports with the resources that we have to support the chapter to thrive in their community and in their state where they are. And certain states have like 4 to 5 chapters too. So I would say right now we probably were up to 8,000 members at this point. Yeah.
That is great. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the best, Antonina, that let the membership increase and let the members receive the support that you all have always been giving to them. Right, moving on to next question then. Now we've spoken about what as we nurses can achieve in various countries. Now this question is different. How do you think we Indian nurses practicing overseas can give back to our profession back in our country?
That's a wonderful question, Pell. So, Indian nurses working overseas have a unique opportunity to contribute to the nursing profession in India through various resources or avenues. Like, for example, the knowledge and skill transfer. So, I work as an international faculty with Mahe University, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. We can share the advanced clinical skills, best practices, and innovative healthcare techniques acquired abroad with peers in India. And this can be achieved through workshops or seminars or online platforms, enhancing the overall quality of nursing care in India. So, another way is mentorship and training. So, offer mentorship programs for nursing students and juniors in India, providing guidance or career development, international standards, specialized areas of practice. We have nurse practitioner program. That is something that India is also looking to
Yes.
consider, right?
Yes.
There are some areas they already have started with that practice. So anything that we need. I mean, I am a nurse practitioner. So,
Right.
if they have questions or anything, we are here to mentor them. And collaborative research. Engage in joint research projects with Indian nursing institutions to address local healthcare challenges, contributing to evidence based practice and policy development. And also, advocacy and influence is another area. Leverage international experience to advocate for improved working conditions because, a brain drain is a brain gain for another country. But if you want to keep that brain in your country, we need to improve the working condition, educational
Yes.
standards, and
Yes.
professional recognition of nurses in India. So participation in policy discussions can drive systemic changes benefiting our profession. And establishing educational institutions, invest and or establish nursing schools and training centers in India to provide high quality education, aligning with global standards and meeting growing demands for skilled nurses. Because everyone there is a workforce shortage, especially nursing workforce, and so and philanthropy and scholarship fund scholarships. India has Indian nursing students are looking for scholarship
Yes.
opportunities. um, Recently we have given 11 Indian students a nursing scholarship for their nursing schools, and
Mm.
they applied to NAINA. We have a website for the NAINA, and they apply for the scholarship, and we look at their application, and if they're qualified, we definitely encourage to provide that. And professional networking and facilitate connections between Indian nurses and international professional bodies, creating opportunities for exchange programs, continuing education, and global exposure. So, by engaging in these kind of activities, overseas Indian nurses can play a pivotal role in elevating the nursing profession in India, and also to ensure sustainable growth and improved healthcare outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what the need of the hour is. Probably cross-border collaboration is something that we should really look at because I feel in all the pockets around, the nurses are flourishing, but somewhere we need to have uniformity all across. Particularly when I talk in India, when we look at the metro cities, the nurses over there have better pay packages, they are doing well in life, they have a better lifestyle. But then when we look at the tier two cities, probably not there. So somewhere I think that uniformity. So I think that's where the cross-border collaboration helps. And like you rightly put, all the things that you spoke about, I think will certainly help us, as nurses who are overseas to contribute back to our nurses in the country. So thank you so much for those things that you said. And this is a question that I ask to every guest who is on my show, because that's the crux of the show, making nursing visible. How do you think we can make nursing more visible?
That's a wonderful question too, Paul. So enhancing the visibility of nursing profession is essential to acknowledge nurses' critical role, as you mentioned earlier, in healthcare, and attract the future generation to the field. Because many nurses are moving away after that pandemic that happened. It was really hurting nursing and also, healthcare as a whole. So
Yes.
some of the strategies to achieve this is media engagement. Nurses can actively participate in media by writing articles, giving interviews like this, and sharing their experiences to educate the public about the complexities and significance of their work. And this involvement helps reshape the portrayal of nurses in the media, because the image of nursing has not been portrayed right,
Yes.
highlighting their expertise and contributions. So as a nurse, we can do a lot of things. I am a nurse educator, I am a nurse administrator, I am a nurse manager, and I am a clinical lead at the hospital, managing different hospital projects, and also a president of an association, an organization, a nonprofit organization. And our expertise is vast, what we can do. I'm a certified nurse midwife, I'm a nurse practitioner. So a nurse can do a lot of different roles and contribute to the profession and to the body of knowledge. And professional networking is huge. Engaging in professional organizations and attending conferences allow nurses to share knowledge, collaborate on best practices, and advocate for their profession. So, and then advocacy and policy involvement. The
Mm.
nurses should participate in policy discussions and, and advocate for healthcare reforms. That's something NAINA promotes all the time. The
Yes.
frontline experience provides valuable insights that can influence health policies and improve patient care. That's why we encourage nurses to be part of the ANA Hill Day, where they get to talk to the legislators and educate the
Mm.
legislators and what their perspectives, how we can promote nursing and improve safe staffing, and the nurse practitioners can have full scope of authority, things like that. And educational advancement, pursuing advanced degrees and certification enhances nurses' expertise. So when I say I'm doing my PhD in nursing, that shows that the nursing just not just limited to your associate program. The nurse can be into any level that they want to be. A research scientist, so you can be a tenured professor in a college. So those are some of the things. Utilizing social media also help to leverage social media platforms to allow the nurses to share their stories, educate the public, and connect with broader audience, thereby raising awareness about the profession's vital role. And public speaking and community engagement is another aspect, participating in public speaking engagements. I get that opportunity all the time. People invite me for the Women's Day, people invite me for the Nurses' Day, or any other events that happens too, So panel discussions for the universities. The other day we had a panel discussion of diverse nurse role,
Mm.
with Vanderbilt University. A lot of people have attended that, and nursing as a STEM. People need to know what nurse can do and what is the profession can offer. And also research publications, contributing to the nursing research and publishing the findings in reputed journals. Elevate the nursing profession's knowledge base and also highlight the nurses' roles as scientists and innovators. And then we also need to enhance the mentorship programs. Experienced nurses can mentor the newcomers, fostering the professional growth. And mentorship also helps retaining the talent and promoting job satisfaction.
Yes.
And the leadership roles, nurse should seek opportunity for positions. Don't be afraid. Take chances and take risk in order to be able to get to that level, whatever that you need to do. Doing a higher study or doing a certification, if you are able to get that career. So that's important. And interdisciplinary collaboration. Nobody can function isolated. Working collaboratively with other healthcare professionals promotes the holistic approach to our patient care and underscores the integral role of that nurses play within the healthcare team. So, implementing some of these strategies can significantly enhance the visibility of nursing and leading to great recognition, improving the working conditions, and a stronger voice in healthcare policy and practice.
Absolutely. I mean, Ankon, there are so many things that you have put forth, and certainly I'm sure I'm going to pick up some of them and try and make use of those to because that's the goal, isn't it? We all are striving for a profession because we want to talk about it. We want it to be more visible to people. We want people to understand that this is a profession. You know, it has lots of merits, and I think it's only our family who sees those merits, but it's very difficult for others to understand. And I think that's the goal, taking it out and proclaiming to the world that this is a, the beginning might be a little rocky, but definitely I think when you're for a longer time in this profession, it just has merits to it and nothing else. Right then, moving on to the next section of our show, which is called as a rapid fire. So I'm going to shoot a few questions, and we will have quick answers to that. Let's see, anything that comes first to your mind. Are you ready then? Okay, so let's begin. The first question: Suja Thomas as an academician or Suja Thomas as a clinician?
I think you have to have both to be able to enjoy, because what you practice clinically, you should be able to bring to back to academic. So basically, so it's both ways. So you need to train your new nurses to be able to be skilled and to be able to practice in the clinical environment. So you cannot separate that.
Yeah. Three words that best summarize your journey till date.
Three words that best summarize my journey too. It's basically staying positive and fostering good relationship and networking strategically is my way to look at things.
That's a nice mantra. I'm sure the young nurses will be listening to this, and I think that's the best way to go ahead. Three words that best summarize the future of nursing.
The nursing is going to be taking a different toll at this point because the nurses are being better prepared to be leaders and administrators and policy advocates. So I think there will be more areas that will be like a research and practice and innovation. Those are the areas the nursing will be moving towards.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. Um, One advice for young nurses who want to pursue their career in the US.
I would encourage to understand about the US and the nursing and can tap with the experts in US and connect with the professional organizations and before you come to make a determination where you want to come, because everybody has different perspectives and
Hmm.
different likes and dislikes. And so we wanted to make sure that what you want, because US, you have different states where you want to come, where you want to practice. Every state has different roles and responsibilities and scope of standards for. And so it's better to find out which is the best state. In New York State, we have for nurse practitioners full scope authority. There are some states you may not have that. So if you want to be autonomous and independently practicing, you may want to look at some of those areas and look at the different state boards and that is available. And CGFNS is another credentialing agency that can be utilized to be able to get your credentialing done
Hmm.
and to make sure that most of the nurses comes, they have degrees and the experience that is counted in US. So they wanted to make sure that that expertise that they bring is being shown in their resumes that they are creating and having the references that is required for them to get a job. So they have to look at in different aspect to be able to select a career in US when they come to be able to be successful in their life.
Right. Three words that best describe NAINA.
Three words that best describe NAINA. NAINA is a non-profit organization for the nurses of Indian origin and heritage to grow and develop and to become leaders and the successful nurses for in US.
Wow. And one thing we can do to entice the younger generation to choose nursing as a career.
Um, for the younger generation to entice them into nursing? Is that the question you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think they need to know what nursing can offer and what opportunities. And you never find a difficulty in finding a job in US if you're a nurse. You're a highly skilled professional. Nursing
Yes.
will be a STEM profession, and and I would encourage to go for nursing and pursue nursing. Start with your Bachelor of Science in Nursing and never stop learning. Keep going. And it is your like is what determines what you want to be, whether you want to be in a clinician, or whether you want to be in education, whether you want to be in research, whether you want to be in policy development, or you want to be a consultant, you want to be a nurse practitioner. That you can mold it by, as you come here, you will be able to mingle with, network with peers, foster relationships, seize opportunities, and stay positive. And we can make an impact by encouraging those new nurses to come to this profession.
That's so true. Amazing piece of advice, Suja. And it's been, we are over 40 minutes now, and I didn't even realize. I thought I've just started because it was such an engaging talk that I was having with you. A lot of things were new knowledge to me as well, and a lot of things that I also agree with you so much. And I'm so thankful that you have been on our show, a person who has never stopped learning, a person who always believed in commitment, and always advocating for the profession. It's been great having you on my show. Here's where we come to the end of the show. But any last thoughts that you want to leave our audiences with?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed this dialogue, and hope to I hope that people will stay positive and view challenges as opportunities for growth, seize opportunities, participate in advocacy and leadership initiatives and professional events to enhance the skills and
Yeah.
broaden your influence, and foster relationships, build strong connections with colleagues, mentors, and leaders, and also make an impact, advocate, mentor, and improve care. Every contribution, no matter how small, strengthens the nursing profession.
Yes, drop by drop, we can fill the ocean, isn't it? So that's a good thought to leave with. Thank you so much for being on our show. It's been a privilege and honor to have you here, and hoping that we have future collaborations as well with our young nurses who get inspired by the journey that you have taken. And all the very best for you to keep going and advocating for the nurses, and all that you dream of. May it all come true. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.